that experience that I had at the end of the day was not for me. It was something in a gift that I was given to share with others. And if I hadn't gone on that in that moment, that gift wasn't given to me, none of this would have happened.
Welcome back to Mirror Talk Soulful Conversations, where we dive beyond the surface to explore the stories, struggles, and soulful truths that shape our lives. Today, I'm honored to be joined by two remarkable souls. They are the co-founders of Peak Fulfillment Coaching. Their journey is a testimony and a testament to the power of resilience, clarity, and intentional solitude. From the ashes of personal and professional losses, divorce, wildfires, miscarriage, and collapsed businesses, they have risen with purpose, creating transformative solo retreats that help others out there reconnect with their truest selves. Welcome to the show, Eli and Kyle. How are you doing?
Toby, we are doing great, man.
We're stoked to be here.
Thank you for the intro.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've had this on the books for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
You put in there that our business name was Peak Fulfillment Coaching. We've actually rebranded since then. And now our company is just called the Solar Retreat Company.
Shows you how long ago we booked it.
Yeah. It's been a while since then. So
I'm so happy that we finally got to we're finally connecting, and I'm looking forward to having a very deep soulful conversation with you and to learn more about your journeys also. We're going to play a game of wildcards. You agreed to do this.
All right, let's rock and roll, man. We're good.
I'm all nervous. Let's get on.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm actually shuffling the first stack of cards right now.
Okay. You're first.
I'm just going to pick a card randomly and ask you a question. I don't know what question I'm going to ask you, basically. Okay. So the first question is
level 1.
What is something you did with pure kindness but did not tell anyone?
Just like recently?
Yes, of recent.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got something. Sunday there was a homeless guy that was sitting on the corner. And I could tell he was really hot, and I just swung by and asked him if there's anything I could do to serve him. Could I get you some water? Could I get you some food? He's like, anything at all would be great. So I went and ran to the store and got him some water and food.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's
very
really
cool.
kind.
Yeah,
man, that is very cool. Yeah,
I try to do that a couple times a month.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything wild. Recently, I was at the park and a dog had run off the leash. So I went and grabbed him for the owner, and before he kind of ran away. Well, yeah, I'd say I'm just thinking right off the top of the head.
That's pretty good. That's an anxiety thing. If your dog like gets off leash.
She's kind of like chasing him too. Kind of pinning him in the corner. Which way you going, buddy? Yeah, that was it.
That's heroic. That's very good. Yeah.
What about you, Toby? Can we flip it back on you?
Oh, wow. Okay. That has never happened before.
See, let's go.
Yeah, what's the kindest thing I've done? Okay. I mean, off the top of my head right now, I'll say I helped a friend like transport his father-in-law to the airport. So I had to travel he was working and I had the day off. It was a weekend, but he was working weekends. And no one else could transport the father-in-law. So I traveled like 2 hours to his place, picked the grandfather, and traveled with him to the airport about 2 hours also back towards my direction again. Okay. So it's like I left home and went like towards the south and then came back to the middle belt where I live to drop him at the airport close by to me, basically. Yeah. That's what's on top of my head right now when you ask me that.
All right.
Perfect. You kind of put me on the hot spot today. Are you ready for the next question? Okay, so the question is, this is from Confessions.
Here we go.
The question is, what is a memory you never want to let go of?
Okay. I would say, you want me to go first? I'll go first. Right. Kyle and I helped out this individual who's a country artist. We helped him out from when he was literally nobody, and now he's probably one of the top country musical artists in the States. And really, I mean, he's everywhere now. He's
everywhere. Toward Germany.
And there was this time that we were actually in Nashville, and he invited us to come by the studio while they were prepping for one of their tours. And it was such a cool moment to kind of like see him in that element before he blew up. And I remember looking at Kyle being like, this guy, he's going to be the next big thing. And it was a cool moment.
That's a really good one.
That was a very cool memory. Yeah. That one's stuck in my head. And it was like an hour and a half getting to just hang out with him and just us, private concert. Yep. Very cool.
That's cool. That was good.
Oh, that's good.
I'm just going off the gut.
Yeah.
Top of the gut.
That was really good.
Top of the gut.
Yeah, I have a pretty fond memory of my last memory with my grandfather. Just the conversation I had with him about his life, and about our heritage and lineage and stuff. And the last thing he said to me was, "Don't ever stop."
Oh, pills.
He just said, "Don't ever stop." Thanks, Grandpa. And we had to go.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a pretty important memory.
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Goosebumper, dude.
Yeah.
I haven't heard
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
You told me that.
Yeah.
I never thought of the context of the question.
No, that was a
before.
great
Like, what's
question.
one memory I would ever
Yeah.
want to let go
Yeah.
of.
Ooh.
That's probably one of them.
And mine is basically every moment I get to make podcasts, like right now.
Okay.
Ooh, that's good. I like
There
that.
we
I'm
go.
always
that.
it's creating moments and memories like I never want to forget or let go of. Like right now, and talking with you, Eli and Kyle, it's something I will never want to let go of.
I love
Very
that.
cool. That's a
That's
really
good.
good one.
Ready for the last question?
Well, here we go.
Yes. So this
Getting
is
deep.
getting deep. Wow. Okay. It is. What is a goodbye you wish you could redo?
Oh my
A goodbye
gosh.
you wish you could redo.
Man, these are some
I mean,
questions.
that would, maybe you would
I don't
use
want to
that
redo
word?
that now. That was good. It was
No,
good,
I'm not
good
saying you do.
conversation. Goodbye, I wish I could redo.
I would say this is going to be kind of a weird one, kind of right field a little bit. I would say, so I went through a divorce, so you've probably seen it or at least heard about it in the About Us stuff.
Yeah.
I think the goodbye in that would have been something to redo. I would have had the opportunity. It's kind of weird, but yeah. So I would probably say that.
That's good. Gosh, I don't even know. It's a really hard question.
It's a deep question. You go
It
deep.
is. I mean, you went straight to the divorce.
Oh,
I
I did.
See
Well, I
how
did
deep I can
because
get over here.
I have to go deep. You could just say bye to the homeless guy on Sunday.
Gosh, I don't. That's really hard for me. You know, my wife's grandmother. I guess this is a goodbye. I don't know. My wife's grandmother passed away like, I don't know, 4 years ago, and I had the opportunity to go on a trip with her and my kids to go say goodbye to her, and instead I stayed for work. And that's I wish I could have. It's like I don't have any regrets in life, but that is one of them. I was really close to her as well, and so that's one goodbye I would like to redo because I never really got to do it.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's deep.
yeah,
You went deep.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Went deep.
I think mine is similar to that also. Like, I mean, in terms of friendships or relationships that just ended abruptly without proper goodbyes, basically.
Yeah.
So I would say I won't say I want to redo the goodbye, but I would like to do the goodbye, basically, in that sense of, just losing touch, basically, just fading off communication or contact, and all of a sudden you wake up and this person used to be my friend, but we've not spoken in years. Yeah. To do that or to do the proper goodbyes will have been good or be nice.
Wow. That's cool. That's a good one. That's deep.
Thank you so much for that round. Actually, I'm really grateful that you got to answer the questions honestly and you opened up. I really like that so much, and that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to speak with you because while preparing for this conversation and when I got to know about you too, I found out your stories are filled with incredible raw and transformational experiences, like experiencing divorce and losses of all kinds. My curious mind is just like, okay, I would like the guests, Eli and Kyle, to take us back to that moment when they realized that solitude, intentional disconnection, was not just a break, but a path to healing and purpose.
It's good.
Awesome. Why don't you go back to the moment?
Yeah, I'll jump in. More than happy to. Back in 2018 of November 8th specifically, I was living in Paradise, California, which is Northern California. For your perspective, about 4 hours north of San Francisco is where we were at. And Northern California is very much well known for wildfires. Really bad ones, rip through cities, rip through towns, rip through areas. And Paradise specifically is pretty prone to them as well. And I woke up that morning and there was a major fire called the Camp Fire that went through. And it was the number one catastrophic natural disaster event in the world that year. Claimed almost 100 lives, and I think the total of wreckage was like $10 billion or something. Burnt down 57,000 structures, and I was right in the middle of that. And I lost my home. My parents lost their home. I lost my business in downtown Paradise. But unfortunately, the day before that, me and my wife we were trying to have another child, and we had our first miscarriage. And it was a midterm miscarriage. That was pretty difficult. And so throughout all that, I definitely was trying to be the backbone of the family. I did my best to be resilient, bounce us back so we weren't homeless for too long, and just try to figure out like what's next. Eli and I still had a business. I luckily had him to lean on. In fact, I lived in your dad's home for like a week with the family. But the one thing that I did is there's a lot of emotions you go through during turmoil like that and transition in your life when literally everything is ripped away from you in your life. And what I did was I suppressed those emotions and I just kept going forward. I didn't look back. I didn't feel my emotions. I just knew I had one goal, and that was try to reinstate normalcy in my life and for my child at the time, my wife, and my parents. And so that's what I did. And that all accumulated up till April 21st of 2021. I was recently going to a therapist just to kind of like see like, okay, there's some things here I need to deal with. But she had diagnosed with me severe anxiety, PTSD, and depression from the fire and the miscarriage. And I woke up that morning around 4:30. I looked in the mirror and I was ready to check out. I said, this is it. I was numb. I had no emotion left. I didn't see the future. I was having anxiety over small things like which dish soap to use and what socks to put on. But I was really good at masking it, walking into the office, being around my friends and my family, because that's what I knew I needed to do. I needed to be the backbone and just know that positive thinking will get me there. But that day I woke up and that was it. I was ready to check out. But luckily I just heard the word escape. And I think a lot of people would think like escape means, all right, well, it's time to take your life. It's time to escape this. And instead of that, I thought of it as escaping the noise. There was so much noise going on in my life. There was so much just pressure and stress of the day to day. And that's what I did. I took off in solitude for 3 days to the Oregon coast. And I just dealt with all the emotions. I cried. I laughed. I had some journal prompts, some exercises and activities. And I just was like, who am I? Why do I do what I do? What am I going through? And what's next in my life? Those are the big questions I was asking. And I came back completely transformed, a different man, a different husband, a different friend, a different business partner, a different son, a different dad. And I really showed up for myself for the first time in my life. And the power of solitude is something that I really walked away with. When there's so much noise going on in the external and so much input, if you just turn it off and let it go away just for a little bit and focus on yourself, that inner deep voice is going to get loud. And the more time you have in solitude and the more reflection you can do in discovery, the louder it gets. And I had it at full blast. It was volume 10, and it really spoke to me on what I was true to and what was next for me. So went through that chapter. Eli and I had a business that was ripping at the moment. We had 15 employees. And sure enough, when it rains, it pours. And I'll let you jump in. But luckily enough, what I learned was that experience that I had at the end of the day was not for me. It was something in a gift that I was given to share with others. And if I hadn't gone on that in that moment, that gift wasn't given to me, none of this would have happened. Not sure what you would have done, but within that next year, you went through some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, we believe everything happens for a reason and there's intention behind everything. And luckily he had gone on this quote unquote, we didn't really know what to call it at the time, but a solo retreat. And that is when what Kyle did exactly, remove the noise, focus on the deep inner work. In 2021, in the span of 2 weeks, I found out that I was being cheated on. My marriage had ended or was in the process of ending. The business that Kyle just mentioned took a massive right turn and we had to lay everybody off. And then I lost my great uncle. It was just kind of like a compass in my life. So at the time you ask about that moment, and in that moment, it was about like, is it me or was it me? So those are the questions that you ask yourself is, are all those things, are they happening because of you and the actions that you've done? And so I was lucky enough to have Kyle who gave me some primitive journal prompts and I took off and did some deep inner work, removed the noise and came back really with a purpose, with alignment and clarity around the next chapter and really got after it. And we made some big choices in the business. The marriage ended, which was ending up being the biggest blessing that I could have asked for. I saw it in a different light when I got back. So that was the moment. And then from then, Kyle and I plugged away, started to see some burnout, experience burnout. We're getting nudged by a lot of people within our orbit and within the companies and cultures that we were building. Hey, you guys should start coaching. You guys should get out there and start sharing your message. You're a very positive light and you can illuminate a lot of people's paths by the stuff you guys have done and the experiences you have. So that planted some seeds. Fast forward to today, that's what we're doing. And we used that experience and my experience together to impact now hundreds of lives.
Oh, that's really awesome. I'm so happy that you got the strength, the courage, the boldness to pull yourself out of the situations that you're going through. I mean, you guys just reminded me of something I've been learning. I started to learn of recent, that our pains are there for a purpose. Our pain has a purpose, basically, and it's not good. I mean, I would like to ask this also as a follow-up question. Like, for the normal human being, it's easier to just numb the pain and just pull through and just keep on rolling, basically, with how life is going. And also is also easier to, play the victim card and say, I don't know why everything's wrong, and why everything's going wrong with me or something like that. But so the follow-up question will be basically, at that moment in your life, how are you able to gain the courage to switch it to the victor's mindset, to say, okay, I am not a victim. I'm going to take charge, take control, and do the difficult thing of not numbing, and then, really sitting down with yourself, taking the time out to really get to the root of everything.
Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I had no other option. Honestly. And I don't think I ever really looked at myself personally as a victim to anything. All I knew was I needed to move forward. And in life, the biggest growth and the biggest times that you have transition are times of taking that big step in faith and just doing it, and just knowing, like, I'm going to get out on the other side. However that looks on the other side is probably going to be better than where I'm at today. So sometimes you just have to take that step. And when you have so much like energy coming out of something and so much momentum, I think that shift to victor it's just a natural occurrence that happens. And you just get stuck in that mindset of like, I'm not going back to where I was. There is no way I can experience that again. I have to move forward. And however that forward looks is going to be healthy. So
Toby, what we say to people a lot that are looking at going through a program, that are kind of on the fence, is what is the other option? And like, what happens if you don't make a change? Right. Where are you going to go in the next 1, 3, and 5 years? And what about the people that are accountable to you? Whether that's friends, community, if you're running a business, your employees, your family, your kids. What happens in, call it 1 year, if you don't do anything about it? Like, where will you be? And that typically is a pretty dark space. So that was a very similar mindset that I had, was if I don't do anything about this and I don't actually take charge. I was lucky enough to see Kyle's path of, it was a bad path, what he went through, but I was lucky enough to see that. And that allowed me to build the courage to say, okay, we need to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned 2 things from you right now. Like, when I'm in such a situation, I'm like, I have no other choice but to make a change.
Right.
The second thing is, where will I be in the next 5 years if I don't change right now? So those 2 things are like what I'm going to hold on to make decisions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's really important to have that awareness. A lot of people don't have that awareness that, change needs to happen now. Most of the time, majority of people, if they don't have encouragement from family or friends or, someone they may follow, that doesn't happen. And so being able to share that awareness to individuals is really important to us to know, like, before you get to the point in your breaking point, take care of it now. And a lot of times that's where we're seeing people that are going through our programs where they're not quite at their breaking point of like everything falling apart. They're being proactive and making sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Don't go with the flow.
Yeah.
Take actions right now.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you're talking about, taking that time out to just sit with yourself, be in solitude. Well, in this world where we are obsessed with productivity, we are obsessed with speed, every minute counts, every hour counts. What does it mean to disconnect, to reconnect? Why is stillness so terrifying yet so necessary?
It's a great question.
Self-discovery is the best form of productivity. What happens is we get in this hamster wheel of needing to be productive, needing to make decisions, needing to be on the next move, when really we're not actually answering the things that are actually happening in our life or understanding the decisions we're making. And so we're making decisions on very quick moments just so we can keep going because we want to feel that momentum and feel like we're doing the right thing. But in reality, to make actually really strong decisions, in order to actually go fast, you need to slow down and take a step back and take a look at all the cards and see where you're at in order to actually make sure that you have that productivity in real life and you're making very aware, intentional decisions. And that's something we really help people to do. And a lot of people that go through our program are entrepreneurs. They are wired to go fast. That's what they do because they know that they have the next goal they need to hit. Their life is chaotic.
They don't unplug.
They don't unplug. And so teaching them that actually the key to productivity is actually slowing down, doing some self-discovery on yourself and on your business. And what is it you really want? What are you running towards? Because if it's just a number in your business, you need to really rethink that because that's where burnout happens. Because when you hit that number, what happens? There's another number you're going to be chasing. So getting people to put it back into their personal why is something that a lot of people in the program kind of rewire and reprogram into themselves.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, again, we're on the phone and we're meeting with people. We're trying to share with them the power of what you just said, the power of stillness. So we're always asking, like, what is something holding you back? And what is something that's holding you back from that number or that goal or that part in life that you really want and you desire? Yeah. What is the limiting belief you have? And then the follow-up question to that is, what does alignment look like for you?
Right.
And then we hear them talk about that. And then we say, what if you had alignment? So high performers and decision makers, entrepreneurs, they are responsible for key decisions. That's their role. They have to make decisions. So then we put it in the place of, what if they had alignment? What would that do for that decision? And now they've already backed themselves into, well, if I had alignment, I could make that decision way quicker. And thus I could be more productive. But the only way to make that alignment come true and so that you can learn what that is from within is stillness. And there is neuroscience behind the power of stillness and the power of solitude and what it does with these different regions of our brain that are actually responsible for creative introspection, creative insight, and self-awareness. But it only turns on when the noise is removed. So when you're on a long drive, maybe coming back from the airport, you're in the shower, you're on a walk, sometimes your best ideas will come to you then, and that alignment will start to snap into play. And when that happens, that was the power of solitude and stillness. That's exactly what we talk about. And that's why our program is so successful and so powerful.
I also believe, something I'm learning also, like that power of stillness. Years ago, I would not want to take a break for any reason because I'm like, if I take a break right now, my next project is going to suffer. I'm going to fall back, basically. If, for example, this podcast journey, or even at work also, like if I say I'm just going to dial down a little bit, my productivity is going to suffer for it. So I'm like, okay, no.
Sure. Absolutely.
I will feel these feelings later in the future, but I have to just be strong right now.
For sure.
It ends up not going well, basically. I end up just breaking down and not being productive at the end of the day.
Yeah, totally agree. And that comes back to alignment, back to what actually matters to you. Is productivity and is accelerating the business matter to you more than potentially missing that moment with your grandmother on her deathbed? What's more important? So when you step back into stillness, that alignment becomes very true, and you can really determine what you want. And that also helps you step back and not have regrets. We talked to a lot of people. We talked to a guy this week that lives with a lot of regret because he's always been so go, go, go. And until he did our program, he realized, and that started to bubble up. Those limiting beliefs and those regrets started to bubble up. Luckily, he had the courage to take charge of that. And now he has a self-awareness. When that pump comes up, what is more important to him? Family time. Now that he understands that.
Oh, yeah. So if I understand you correctly, like alignment means knowing what is most important to you and doing that, basically. What you feel at peace with, basically.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Because, I was about to ask you that, okay, for a listener out there, for example, who's hearing alignment over and over again from you, he or she's asking themselves, okay, what is alignment? How do I know I'm aligned to my purpose? How do I know I'm aligned to myself?
Sure. A lot of that values, morals, what's important to you. So when you have a decision to make, it becomes a lot easier because you kind of have that internal mission statement, you can call it. And that's alignment.
It's alignment, yeah.
Yeah.
So now, I'm learning from you already, and I'm already seeing the importance of solo retreat already. And I'm looking forward to maybe going on one very soon. But now I'm asking myself, okay, what is the anatomy of a solo retreat? What must I do to make it effective? I don't know if that's counterproductive, but I want to make it as efficient and effective as possible. So can you walk us through the anatomy of a solo retreat? Like, what makes it such a powerful container for transformation?
Yeah, something we get asked quite a bit. And the first thing to kind of set is you can go escape to solitude and stillness at any given moment. You can go take a micro reset and reset your day for 5 minutes, but you can also go for 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, however long you want to go into solitude. But the thing about that is there's no structure behind it. So what we find is a lot of people do go and they're like, oh, I need to go take some time to myself. You hear that all the time. If you don't have structure behind it, it could be more of a kind of like a refresh and a recharge rather than actually taking care of some of the thoughts and the things that you're going through in life. So we create structure around that. We can also help you find the right location through one of our matching location services we have. But at the end of the day, we are helping you actually have structure and walk through the process of trying to figure out where you're at, who you are, what do you need to reflect on, what are limited beliefs, what are some emotional baggage you need to release, and ultimately, what does the future look like? How can we help you get and create a vision and craft one to move forward to know where you're going to go? So we have a kit and a full program that has multiple workbooks. Each workbook is sealed every single day that goes through different topics that have activities, journal prompts, exercises to go through, in addition to other tools and items in that kit that have to help you understand what intentionality is about making decisions. How do you actually experience solitude and stillness to make sure it's effective for you so you can actually be productive and know that the time you're spending, you're going to actually get a maximum return out of it. And then, of course, we have our coaching afterwards to help you with that integration piece because we've read the books, we've listened to the podcast, we've gone to the seminars, we've gone to the big conferences, listened to motivational speakers. And we feel really good after that for about 1 or 2 weeks. But then we always go and slip back into the old Kyle of what he was doing, what he was on the path on. And so we help with that integration process through a mastermind, one-on-one coaching, and some other resources we have.
Yeah.
Add some to that.
If you're looking to do a solo retreat, Toby, and this goes for you, your listeners, me, Kyle, whoever it is, the first part in the anatomy of a solo retreat is to set the intention prior to going that you are going to go there and you're going to do deep inner work and you're going to do and not think about anything else but that. The other part about it is, again, specifically for high performers, people that are pushing the needle like yourself, is all about giving yourself that permission. For you, me, and Kyle, it's hard to say, hey, I'm going to disconnect, shut the computer off, shut the notifications off, shut the podcast off with the intent to work on myself to come back a better version. Until you give yourself that permission, it doesn't really start. So the anatomy of a solo retreat, it has to start with permission for the student first. And if you can give yourself that courage and you can do that, that is the most successful solo retreat you'll have.
Give yourself permission for solo retreats. Yeah. And how do you get access to these resources that you provide? Like, for example, when I finally give myself permission for a retreat, how can I get access to the resources that you provide or to the services that you provide that could help me with my journey?
Yeah, just go to our website, soloretreat.co, or hit us up on LinkedIn. We're pretty active on LinkedIn, Kyle Nelson, Eli Libby. And we're happy to just have a conversation with you and a call to help you walk through that permission piece. Because like Eli saying, that is the anatomy of it. We can provide you the structure all day long, but if you're not walking in with intention and ready to do that inner deep work, you're just not ready to do it. We're happy to kind of walk through those things and help you allow yourself to have permission. That's really important, is some people just don't even know how to start with that.
Yeah.
So.
We also have a newsletter called the Weekly Reset, and it's a free newsletter. Individuals kind of start there and it's every Sunday evening prior to kicking off the work week. And it helps set that intention, give them permission, share a powerful insight and a reflective prompt. And that is a great starting place for you and your audience to kind of learn more and getting into our ecosystem.
Yeah, it's really important to be able to end your week with reflection and start your new week with intention. Otherwise, you're just rolling and there's no reset that's happening and you're just kind of continuously pushing forward. And it's really good to reset your mind and soul.
Yeah. I love that so much. So we should stop just rolling around weeks into weeks and years into years, but set intentions.
Exactly. It happens quick.
Exactly. You got it. Yep.
Yeah. But does your coaching service also provide like an, accountability partnership service for people that could maybe, like you said, Kyle earlier, sometimes we relapse. Like we listen to this episode right now and I'm so motivated and I start the journey and 2 weeks down the line, I'm back to my old self. Like, is there like an accountability partnership kind of service that you provide also to wake me up and say, hey, Toby, get back on track?
Absolutely. We have a free community called The Tribe. And that is a online community where individuals can help, share goals, hold people accountable. But really what individuals look for is a one-on-one approach. Typically, they have been really excited working with Kyle and I and seeing the program that we've built off of experience. So there is a one-on-one style coaching service that we do. Again, it's just once a month to check in, to avoid backsliding and help them stay accountable. Because when you finish your solo retreat, Toby, you're going to have this list of things that you're going to do, things you're going to execute on, how you're going to change the podcast, how you're going to act at home. And when you vocalize that to us in a debrief after your solo retreat, that's when we can really latch on with you and walk that road, that path with you for 6 months to a year and hold you accountable. I think our rate is around 95% of individuals that have gone through our program actually hit their goals because they're a part of the tribe, because they do one-on-one coaching and they do some of our group coaching masterminds.
Right. And there's so much power in going on a solo retreat and figuring out what you need from your own inner work. Coaches, therapists, courses, books, speakers, podcasts, they'll tell you all day long. These things will tell you all day long on what you need to do. Yep. But when you go in solitude and you hear this from your own inner voice, the power of that is it sparks something in you that's different than anything you've ever heard, because that actual intrinsic motivation becomes real. It's not just someone telling you like, oh, this is what you need. Here's the next productivity hack to get moving, or here's this that you need to do. When you are the creator of it, really, it's endless possibility.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, it's much more better when it comes from within me, basically, than when I just hear from anyone. Yeah, that's true.
Got to turn the noise off.
Yes, and exactly. For me to get to hear my inner voice, I have to quiet the chaos around me. It's hard. Yeah. Earlier you talked about you could go for 3 days, a 3-day retreat, for example, or you could, build in intentional moments into your days where you quiet down yourself, or you reflect, or you have mini retreats, I would call them. So are there like some mindful practices, some spiritual habits, for example, that one could make use of in order to ensure that moment, that 5 minutes, 10 minutes that I'm trying to get connected back with myself or disconnect from the world also, actually helps me to connect with my inner voice?
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome that you have the intention and you're working on something. A lot of people don't have something they're working on.
Was your question asking in terms of what are some things?
Yes, I would like to know. Like, if there are some. Yeah,
I thought you were saying you were doing those things. Got it.
First, easiest thing is to shut the phone off. Turn the notifications off. Remove apps. Put it away. Put it on Do Not Disturb. Like, it's such a distraction. It creates so many mental tabs. Like, oh man, you've got the grocery list. You got a text. You got to get back to. You got emails. Turn the phone off. Put it away. Go on a 30-minute walk, go on a 10-minute walk without the phone, and just be very intentional. Think about the person that poured that concrete. Think about your feet hitting the ground. Look at the trees that are around you. That's a great way to disconnect in the middle of the day and reset yourself and reset the mindset coming into the next task. Yeah. So a physiological reset is usually the best. If you have a short window, call it 5 to 30 minutes.
I think the most powerful thing that we also teach people is starting your day offense rather than on the defense. Yep. So many of us wake up and the first thing, what do? We check our phones.
Check our phones, yeah.
Yes, we see what notifications, what fires do I have to put out? And if you can just remove that, put the phone in a different room overnight and tell yourself, I am first either going to go for a walk, I'm going to go for a workout, I'm going to just have my coffee first and have some intention, practice some gratitude, think about your day and put the intention out there and kind of do some visioning for the day. You are going to find that day, you are no longer on the defense. You are on offense. You own it. And you get to decide what happens next. Otherwise, you're instantly putting yourself into that. I gotta start
fire
getting
mode.
Things down. I gotta put fires out there, and then you just go down a rabbit hole for the rest of the day. And then at the end of the day, you're like, man, that day sucked.
How you start your day sets the tone for the whole day. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Set the tone.
That's right. So you guys are clarity coaches, and listen nowadays like asking, okay, how would you help me? How would Eli and Kyle help me to gain clarity in my life? Apart from, going on a solo retreat, does it go beyond that into my creating clarity for me? And would it also, I'm asking multiple questions already, would it also, lead to a lasting effect, or is this just a short-term change that I'm going to experience, or it's going to be for the rest of my life, basically? So maybe two or three questions in one.
The answer to clarity is truly your own inner intrinsic needs that you have. We can't make you have clarity. We can't push you, but what we have is we have a proven system and structure. We ask the right questions, we have the right prompts, and the right things for you to reflect and discover on your own that is going to help you find that clarity. Because typically, if you're looking for clarity in one area in your life, it's really over here because it's creating either momentum or non-momentum in this area because it's something that's stuck. And so what we also find is so many of our students are doing solo retreats yearly. We've got a guy that does them quarterly, and we could just walk with him with coaching because he knows he's moving so fast in life. He has so many different irons in the fire. He has to slow down to make sure he's making intentional decisions. Otherwise, he gets thrown back into the old decisions he was making, which were quick, on the fly, and not actually productive where he's trying to head.
Yeah. And it's not just like a one-time solo retreat. Clarity is something you have to work on because you can slide back. It's like anything. You have to practice it. And that's why we look at accountability, a mastermind, a group coaching program, in-person retreats where we bring people together. Those are really powerful because it re-sparks that motivation that you had at that time of clarity. It brings it back. So we always say that, like, yeah, we can help you find clarity, but you have to do the work to maintain it. And if you can't do it by yourself, lean on us. That's what we do best. Hold you accountable to some of the things you said.
Yeah. Oh, I like that so much. I mean, it's not a one-time fix. It's a journey.
Right.
Exactly.
In the retreats. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because sometimes people listen to this and you ask follow-up questions like, okay, if I do it once, will my whole life change? And then that's like a fix for the rest of my life, and my life is going to be different forever. But yeah, what I'm understanding right now is basically, yeah, you do the retreat now, but you have to embed it basically into your whole life, like maybe daily or quarterly or yearly or whatnot.
Right.
And be intentional about it.
It's healthy. There's a lot of big thought leaders in the world that do very, annual, quarterly, biannually solo retreats. Bill Gates being one of the biggest.
Wow. So for someone out there who's listening today and the person is feeling overwhelmed, feeling stuck or unsure of their next step, from your experiences, like everything that you've gone through in life and where you are right now today, using all of that, what would you say to them, heart to heart? Like, what would you tell them right now?
Well, I would say, first of all, don't be too hard on yourself that you are stuck. Some of the most brilliant minds in the world have been stuck before. It's not, it's very normal. So don't be too hard on yourself. And then the second thing I would say is don't feel like pausing and slowing down is actually, holding you back or bringing you back or lacking productivity. It's actually going to do the quite opposite. And that is backed with a lot of science.
Yeah, I would say it doesn't take much to make the decision, and it doesn't have to be on the extreme side of going on a 3-day solo retreat. It can literally just be 5 minutes in the morning to yourself. Turn everything off, remove the noise, and just be human again, be still, and just see what happens. See what happens, see what you hear, and you're going to be surprised how powerful it is.
Yes, that's true. I mean, I myself sometimes, funny enough, the tagline that we use for this podcast a lot is pause, take a break, reflect on life. And a lot of times I'm always being reminded of the same tagline, like, okay, you have been given this tagline, so apply it to yourself, please. And I'm like,
absolutely.
Okay.
So we're the same way, man.
Totally get it.
We're constantly telling ourselves to slow down.
So you're saying this right now, so it's reminding me of that tagline again. I'm like, okay, Toby, or anyone who's listening out there, it's very important to slow down sometimes to increase your productivity.
Spot on.
Wow. I mean, Eli, Kyle, I've learned so much from you. Thank you so much for showing us that clarity doesn't just come from doing more, but also listening deeper and, connecting to our inner selves, disconnecting to reconnect to ourselves. And thank you so much for reminding us that silence is sacred and solitude isn't just loneliness. It's about, creating that connection with yourself, being intentional about getting to know yourself better. And it's an invitation also, to have a much more awesome life, I would say. So for people out there who still like to work with you, get connected to your services, get your resources, what's the best way to do this? What's the best way to reach you?
2 places. It's www.soloretreat.co. That's .co, or please connect with us on LinkedIn. Just look up Kyle Nelson, Eli Libby. Most likely will pop up first and connect with us there. We'd love to have a good conversation with you, get you started. And then, of course, please subscribe to our free newsletter, The Weekly Reset. That's going to be your first best next step to experience and understand how to go through solitude for the first time.
I'm going to place a link to your website in the show notes of this episode, solitude.co. For anyone who is interested, could click on the link, copy the link, and reach out to you and start making use of the resources to go on that journey of becoming, much more connected to themselves. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this conversation with you. It has been so much of a blessing to me, I would say.
Thank you very much.